I've never been anti-vaccine, but everybody in this room probably believes that I have been, because that's the prevailing narrative.
Difficult question. Can you name any vaccines that you think are good?
There's no vaccine that is, safe and effective. I am pro-safety. So if you say to me that the polio vaccine was effective against polio, I'm going to say yes. And it caused more deaths than averted. I would say I don't know, because we don't have the data on that. All of my kids are vaccinated. Our job is to resist and to talk about it to everybody. If you're walking down the street, I do this now myself. I see somebody on a hiking trail carrying a little baby, and I say to them, better not get them vaccinated. And he hears that from me. If he hears it from 10 other people, maybe he won't do it. Maybe he will save that child. My first book in 2014, the first line of it is, I am not anti-vaccine, and the last line is, I am not anti-vaccine.
So we kind of have to narrow in on, is it effective against the thing it's supposed to fight?
Oh, well, a lot of them are. Let me give you an example. Current hepatitis B vaccines are causing more problems than they're solving. The most popular vaccine in the world is the DTP vaccine, diphtheria, tetanus, and pertussis. The WHO and Bill Gates gives it to 161 million African children every year. Bill Gates went to the Danish government and asked them to support this program, saying, we've saved 30 million kids. The Danish government paid for a big study in West Africa. They found that the vaccine was preventing kids from getting diphtheria, tetanus, and pertussis. But the girls who got that vaccine were 10 times more likely to die over the next 6 months than children who didn't. And they weren't dying from anything anybody ever associated with the vaccine. They were dying of anemia, bilharzia, malaria, sepsis, and mainly pulmonary and respiratory disease, pneumonia.
Mr. Chairman, are we allowed to go an extra time?
Let's see.
Could he just answer the question if he said that the FBI headquarters, where they investigate cybercrime and terrorism, should be shut down and open as a museum? Did he say that the headquarters should be shut down?
Mr. Patel stated that on day one, he will shut down the FBI Hoover building here in D.C. and reopen it as a, quote, deep state museum.
He is asking to be head of the FBI, and he said that their headquarters should be shut down.
I'd shut down the FBI Hoover building on day one and reopening the next day as a museum of the deep state.
It is what Mr. Patel actually said himself. Facts matter.
Then we need to decrease what I call government creep with personnel. The FBI's footprint has gotten so freaking big.
I actually have the transcript here, which was reported by the Washington Post. And that was in March of 2024 on Joe Pack's podcast. He asked you, the Capitol Police in that fake January 6th committee, they didn't tell the truth, did they? Patel, no, not just them, many others. And lying under oath is a federal offense, and they should be investigated for it. You believe that about the police officers?
That's a general statement and a mischaracterization. Snippets of information are often misleading and detrimental to this committee's advice and consent process.
Well, if you consent, I would love to have 5 hours of questions, and then I could read the whole transcript.
You've got 2 minutes.
Wow. In September, you referred to the FBI's Intel branch, which was stood up after 9/11 and works to protect us from foreign adversaries like China, as, quote, the biggest problem the FBI has had, unquote.
And the biggest problem the FBI has come out of its intel shops. I'd break that component out of it.
Do you really think that closing the intel branch will make Americans safer?
Again, it's not what I said. The intelligence component of the FBI has seen some politicization and weaponization that we've discussed here today, and intelligence collection capabilities belong in the intelligence community. Having served in both law enforcement and intelligence communities, I'm uniquely qualified to bring the intelligence limited component back to the FBI that ties back to the legislative mandate of prosecuting and investigating criminals.
You said Elon Musk cares about 2 things, your data and his money. Do you still stand by those words?
I don't have that entire quote, but that's what it says.